Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska and I'm your host for tonight. We are in the Royal Castle in Warsaw talking about John Paul II. Here with me is Paweł Figurski, an expert in thought of John Paul II, also representing the center devoted to the thought of John Paul II. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
As we also seen in the previous episodes, John Paul II was truly a very complicated figure with very deep thoughts, different aspects, I would say touching almost every element of human existence. So not only a pope, but also an artist, with a special letter to artists, and a person with a huge heritage. And when we are talking about his first pilgrimage to Poland, there is this element and this connection to St. Stanislaus. What is it about? Also at the exhibition, we see a huge portrait of St. Stanislaus, a saint from the 11th century, so many years ago. How is he connected to our Polish Pope?
Stanislaus was an 11th century bishop of Krakow who was believed to die under the sword of King Boleslav. But this is a tradition elaborated later at the beginning of the 13th century, and later hagiography that also put a link between Stanislaus and his body and the body of the kingdom, the political body, as the body of the saint was martyred and quartered into pieces. So the kingdom of Poland was divided in the 13th century, but there is an emergence of an idea of unification, because as miraculously the body of the saint was healed and restored to its integrity, so it was believed that the Polish kingdom will be unified. And this is an idea elaborated in the 13th century. So Saint Stanislaus became not only a figure of a saintly bishop, but also the patron of the Polish kingdom. And this is symptomatic for John Paul II. He believed to be the following the paths of Saint Stanislaus in his combat against the tyranny of the state. Let's recall that this was the time of the communist Poland. Many crucial events are connected with Saint Stanislaus and John Paul II. Before the conclave that elected John Paul II as the Pope, he wrote a poem entitled Stanislaus, in which he gave homage to his archbishopric church in Krakow, whose main patron is Saint Stanislaus. We also discussed in earlier parts this drama wherein John Paul II was playing the role of Boleslav, so we won't go here into detail. Also, John Paul II was very active in bringing the heritage of Saint Stanislaus to Poland. His first pilgrimage was originally...
Exactly, here's my question, because his first pilgrimage was originally devoted to Saint Stanislaus, but the Communist Party was so afraid of it and they prevented it. Why were the communists so afraid of this idea?
So we need to take into account that the anniversary of the 900th anniversary of martyrdom was planned on the year 1979. This was pre-planned when Karol Wojtyła was the Archbishop of Krakow. And the first pilgrimage was planned to celebrate this anniversary, already organized by Karol Wojtyła, who became John Paul II. But the government of Poland was not able to stop the visit of the Polish Pope, as they stopped the visit of Paul VI during the millennium, 1966. So they allowed the pilgrimage to happen, but they insisted that it will be postponed. They wanted to prevent this anniversary, to kind of repel the arguments, repel the symbolism of this event to be used by the church. They were very deeply afraid that John Paul II, standing in Krakow on May the 8th, which is the feast day of Saint Stanislaus, will use this opportunity to invoke all the calamities of the communist government. So basically, John Paul II, as a man of integrity and of deep culture, he must have acknowledged Saint Stanislaus in his pilgrimage that was postponed, and it happened in June. But he did not refer to the obviously political aspect of his activity. He rather used Saint Stanislaus and his image, his symbolism, to manifest the fight for the human integrity, for suffering, for the good of the church. So it was not clearly political. He did not have to go into little petty combats with words. He was a greater man that was looking far beyond the
simply the political element of it. And of course the pilgrimage was a huge success, still waking up the spirit of Poland and giving to many people hope here. So that is the heritage of John Paul II. We can see how much connected to the history, to the culture, and to the reality of those times. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, we of course send you to the exhibition, or just simply read more of letters and listen more to the speeches of John Paul II. And thank you very much for being with us.